What's going on, guys? This is Chris, SVT Garage, and this is my buddy.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Ryan, and this is my 2003 SVT Cobra.
2003 Cobra, and kind of hard to tell by looking at it, but this is the rarest color.
Satin silver.
Satin silver, yep.
242 made. Didn't know it was satin silver when I bought it. The plan was a DSG car or a satin car. Didn't think I'd be able to find a satin car, so I just started looking for silver metallic. And this came up for sale in Michigan, and it was advertised as silver metallic. Actually, didn't realize it was satin silver until I got it back to Florida and saw it in the Florida sunshine. That's when we realized there wasn't much flake in the paint.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you said to me, hey, I'm going to go look at this car up in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's satin.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way. It was like,
the
rarity of this car is just...
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. You were spot on. Got here, kind of got out of that like excitement of scooping the car up, and
saw the paint code was TL,
and he knew right away. Boom.
Yeah.
He's like, God, I got a gem.
I was happy.
So lucked out, probably. Realistically, you didn't hassle or haggle the price on the dude.
No, the car had been up. I have been trying to get one of these for 21 years now.
He's not lying. I've known him for a while.
When I was in middle school,
Mm-hmm.
and the first time I saw one was early 2003. It was a zinc yellow coupe, and I saw it right down the street from my house, and I immediately loved it. And then Street Fire came out, and these things were just dominating, crushing Corvettes and Camaros, and they were the king for a long time. My buddy had a Kenny Bell car in 2006 till 2009. We took that thing out almost every weekend and just had a lot of fun with it. So it was my goal to get one of these. I came close a few times over the years. I came close to a Sonic Blue coupe. Just deal fell apart. So finally, last August, I was able to put it together and get one. But yeah, this was for sale in Michigan. I found it on the Cobra page on Marketplace, and the guy was asking $32,000. It has right now it has 43,000 miles on it. When I got it, it had 39.5, and then we drove it home from Michigan back to Florida nonstop. I ended up getting it for 30 grand, and it's a 4-owner car. I'm the 5th owner. Spent its whole life in Michigan till now, and it's clean underneath, no rust. It was parked, I think he said, in October, and then it wasn't driven again until May. So it pretty much sat, half the year.
That's a typical northern car, which is you get some good and bad with them. This one ended up being the good and the good.
Yep.
One, the guy didn't drive it during the winter.
Right.
It was stored. And two, he kept it out of the salt, the snow. And I've been under the car. You've also been under the car a bunch of times. So we'll get into that aspect of it. But this car has no rust. So you got the car from the perfect owners, from 1 through 4, and then again number 5 being yourself. So you lucked out, kind of bought the car sight unseen.
Yeah,
flew in.
It was I had messaged the guy in the morning, and later that day, he messaged me back. I messaged him actually the night before, it was at like 8 p.m. And then in the morning, I had seen that he read the message, and then he finally messaged me back in the afternoon and sent me a bunch of videos of it, a bunch of pictures, and I said, all right. I said, well, I tried to offer him 28, and he wouldn't take it. He said, no way, it's only been up for a little bit. So he said, I'll take 30, and I said, no problem. I went to the bank, I got $30,000 out in cash, threw it in a backpack, and then called my buddy Joe, and I said, hey, you want to fly up to Michigan with me in the morning? We're going to go get this car and drive it home. And that's just how it happened. We got on the airplane at 5 a.m., we flew up there, he met us at the airport, and did the title work, did everything right there, test drove the car, drove it back to Florida 21 hours straight.
21 hours straight, and didn't the guy...
Rolled the dice. The car had basic bolt-ons besides the Whipple. It had a 2.3 Whipple, and then it was just your basic, fuel injectors, booster pump. It was on a stock clutch still. Alternator was actually a PA performance unit. As far as I knew, it was stock, so we definitely rolled the dice driving it home. But we made it with no issues at all.
And again, these cars are known for that alternator hiccup, whatever it is. These things spin them and they burn them up. And that's a long ass drive for a, commute from Michigan to Florida.
Yeah.
But,
Well, and I asked the guy too.
Yeah.
I said, he said, where are you located? I said, I'm in Tampa. And I said, do you think this thing can make it home in one trip? And he goes, I don't see why not. The furthest I've taken it's 200 miles, but he said, besides the Toyotas on the back, you should be fine.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't account for was the fuel. We had stopped for gas 9 times.
9, yeah.
And it was.
And luckily, it was still
It was on 93.
It was a
at the time.
93 tune.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that now. E85.
Yeah.
But they're good on gas, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
not
we
good
were,
on gas.
We were
yeah.
getting it. We were
Yeah.
having a little bit of fun on the highway with it. We ran into a Hellcat, ran into a Fox Body.
Yeah.
Ran
You guys-
into a SRT8 Durango. So yeah.
All right, so coming back, you had some fun
We
with
had
it.
some fun.
We
We
rolled
had
the
no
dice.
plate on the car. We drove home from Michigan with no license plate the entire time. We didn't get stopped once.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
that's, again, you guys rolled the dice, I think, 100 times bringing
Yeah.
this thing back, and it worked out. Bought the car last August. Today is what, August
It'll be a year
7th?
on the 26th.
So hasn't had the car for a year. Has not had this thing for 365 days, and we will go into the total transformation from start to finish of what is done now with it to where it's at. Has had multiple sets of wheels, X, Y, and Z. But I've known Ryan for quite a while now.
At least 10 years.
At least 10 years. And since I've known him, he's had Pro Charged. We talked earlier today. He had the Pro Charged Coyote car with 20.
Yeah, it was a 2012 with a Paxton 2200 on it.
Yeah.
That was a fun car, but it was total opposite of this. It was a lot of top end,
Yeah.
down low power,
Yeah.
very disconnected driving experience with the drive-by-wire and
Yeah.
the hydraulic clutch and everything.
So
that was kind of a turn off on that car.
yeah, because I remember I think you had it for too long, and through the years you've always whenever we meet up or hang out or whatever, we'd always talk about the goal of getting one of these, and man, he pulled the trigger and he pulled it hard.
Yeah.
And he went hard. He went across the country, got this thing, and got it back home. And we do have, I've mentioned it almost on all the videos here, we have a group of these cars here in the Bay Area, Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, all, just sort of the surrounding Bay area. There's, how many of us?
There's like six,
seven of us. If Chad could keep his,
Yeah, we have one guy that buys them.
he buys them and sells them every 3
Yeah.
weeks. So he's
But when he has them, he's not allowed to leave.
correct. Anyways,
Yeah.
so
drive them.
there's a group of us, and we all keep in contact on this page or group that we got, this group chat, and it's fun, it's cool. We hit local car shows and whatever together. But Ryan and myself and a couple other guys, we're pretty active with the cars. And it was a great addition to him bringing this thing over. So, kudos and thank you for that. It is nice having that, in your backyard.
Yeah, you get it and you want to enjoy it and drive it, but at the same time you want to keep it nice. So I'm pretty meticulous with keeping it clean, and I only drive it once in a while. It doesn't go out in the rain. I don't drive it to work. I work in Tampa, and it's an hour commute, so I won't drive it just because of the highways are shit here with rock chips and everything else.
Yeah. And it's busy.
So, I have a goal of keeping under 2,000 miles a year-ish,
Yeah.
and local car shows, and I do take it out and have a little fun with it in Mexico from time to time.
Yeah, that you do. I give you that. He does run this thing.
Yeah.
Real quick, we'll get back to the car. What got you into, the mechanics and the cars themselves?
So growing up, my grandfather had a Jeep Comanche pickup truck that he had bought new.
Yep.
And I remember the first time I actually started working on something, I was 8 years old, and the water pump had gone out on that truck. So I spent a lot of time with my grandfather growing up because my parents both worked full time and then some. And so I was over there, and he said, hey, the water pump's bad on the truck. I want to show you how to fix it. You want to work on it with me? So that was kind of where I started wrenching on things, and then it turned into, just regular maintenance on the truck. I would start helping him with that, and over the years, I just became more interested in that, and I actually grew up with that truck, and when he passed away, he left it to me, and I still have that truck. I've been restoring that for 14 years. I put an LS1 out of the C5 Corvette in it. It's got a 4L60E, a 488 rear end. So that's been a long-term project, but actually what got me in the fast cars, I had a buddy that had an 03 SRT4 stage 3 car, and I hadn't really been in anything fast before that, and he took me for a ride in that. That was back in '03, early '03, maybe late 2002. And I remember he took me for a ride in that Stage 3 SRT4, and I was immediately hooked.
I remember them. Those cars,
Yeah.
for whatever reason,
It rode out
they were impressive. You
Yeah.
know, for
what they were.
2003 standards.
Right.
You know,
It was weight reducted, and that car rode out. He took me over the Bayside Bridge in that thing, and I was just, it was a good time. So that's where I got interested in that, and then from there I went to, I tried to get into something myself. My first car was a 1988 Trans Am that had an LT1 in it, so my dad helped me buy that, and I worked on that for a little bit. I drove that to high school my sophomore year, and then it just had a bunch of problems. It wasn't reliable as a daily driver, and you know, I had clutch issues with it, overheating, all kinds of problems. That's when I really started looking at getting into a Mustang. I was trying to get into a Terminator, but at the time they were brand new.
Yeah.
You know, high school can't do that.
Yeah. That's,
So
it's always been out of my league.
I ended up in 2005. I got a 2001 Cobra. My parents helped me get it with the agreement that I would make the payments on it. I worked at Advanced Auto Parts and made the payments on this '01 Cobra, and that was my first real fast, well, quick car. '01 Cobras aren't fast, but that thing gave me a lot of problems. It was a nightmare. Multiple engines. I tried multiple setups. I had nitrous on it at one point. Had an On3 turbo kit that I had installed and actually never tuned. And after several different setups, transmission problems, the car sat in my parents' garage for 10 years before I finally just sold the rolling chassis to a friend back in 2021. So that was my first experience with Mustangs. It wasn't very good. I knew I wanted a Terminator. I tried to settle for an '01, and lesson learned.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all had that. You know, I know what I want, but sometimes I got to settle to make myself kind of happy
Well,
with
and then
it.
you think, you know, you can. Well, I'll get the '01 and I'll make it faster than an '03 Cobra. Or I'll get the '01 and I'll do this and that.
Yeah,
It just
it's
didn't
never the
work
same.
out.
Yeah, and nothing against them cars. You know, it's cool new edge.
I don't like them.
You know, yeah, you've owned it,
I
you've
have personal
experienced it. Yeah.
experience.
So,
Yeah.
now fast forward. Now we're back in the. You know what? Just one real quick thing. What got you to pull the trigger on this car?
So one of my best friends also grew up around these things with me. He had a Lightning that he had built. We had put a 4-valve in it with a turbo setup, and he decided to put it up for trade on Facebook. And somebody offered to trade him an '03 Cobra straight up. So he went and did it. Came back with a fully built Kenny Bell car, and once he had that, I knew I had to get one. I couldn't wait anymore.
And that was
That
like a year ago.
That was a couple weeks before I got mine.
So
I had been looking loosely for a while, and then I was like, all right, everybody's got one with me. It's time to make it
Honestly,
happen.
mine was my 35th birthday present last year. I'll have had my car 1 year this Sunday.
Cool story, Joe. We'll save that for your video. This is Ryan's. Okay.
I helped him get this car.
Anyways.
I'm the idiot that went across the country.
Yep.
So now if we're fast forward and we're in August 2023, Ryan picks the car up. Let's dive into the mods on this thing and future goals for the car, because I know what they are. I think they're fantastic. We'll get into some of that stuff, but let's start with the basic bolt-ons to kind of where you're at right now with it.
So I got the car. It had a 2.3 Whipple with a 3.0 upper pulley at 19 pounds. It had a Kenny Bell booster pump. It had 80-pound injectors, and it was tuned by Lydio at Alternative Performance up in Michigan. And that was pretty much it. Car came with the dyno sheet. I think it was 610 at the wheels on 93. Stock math, stock pumps, stock clutch. It had an off-road X-pipe and a Flowmaster catback. So when I got the car, the plan was keep it as is. Got back to Florida, quickly got used to the power. Everybody in the group, our little Cobra group, they're all big blower cars and pretty modded out. And this was definitely one of the slowest ones in there. So my plan was to put it on E85 and pulley the 2.3 up to 24 pounds boost. I was going to do a 2.95 upper and a 2-pound lower. And started looking into it and said, you know what, I'm just going to try to get, I want to get a Gen 5 3-liter and put that on there and just send it and see what happens. So I got on Marketplace and there was one local Guy was asking $5,000, brand new in the box, complete kit.
Yep.
So I pulled the trigger on that, got the Gen 5. I went with a 4 level 2 fuel system with twin TI Auto 285 pumps, which are like Hellcat pumps. I initially had ID 1300s on the car. They almost cost me a motor. I had a stuck injector that dumped 5 gallons of fuel into the motor and the exhaust.
Yeah.
So I ditched those and went to FIC 1200s. It's got a GT500 MAF, Off-Road X with boreless Singer catback. I have long tubes and an off-road pro chamber in the garage I have to install. Tubular K-member I still have to install. Right now it's on E85. It's tuned by Kevin Dunn. I see about 26 pounds of boost with a 3.0 pulley. I don't know what it's making at the wheels.
It's a remote tuned, right?
Yeah, it's remote tuned. I'd say I should be at or over 800-ish.
Yeah.
Long-term plans for the car are going to be cams, some Kurgan cams and head studs, boundary oil pump, and possibly a 2-pound lower once I have the head studs in. And we'll go from there. I do have a Texid block that I'm going to be slowly building on the side, but I'm definitely going to push this one as far as I can take it and see what happens.
I also want to note real quick that what I think is stellar about this car is everything he just mentioned to you guys has been done by himself.
Yeah, in the garage with myself and Joe.
With the help of Joe.
friends.
Again, just the community here. This isn't.
No, I'm not a check writer. I do my own work.
I can give some credit where credit's due. He's a guy that I would totally trust if I need a hand with my car, and he's been there, has given me a hand with my car. He does all this himself, so kudos to that. Took the valve covers off. You guys have seen the video. They're powder coated, that Ford wrinkle blue. They look fantastic. Same thing with the coil pack covers. He was having an issue with the pulley bridge.
Yeah, I had the pulley bridge. It was supposed to be powder coated to match the valve covers, and
They came back like, I don't know, like Sonic blue.
it came back the wrong color after 4 weeks of waiting at the powder coat shop. So
guy
that
just-
ended up just getting rattle canned.
So he actually, stripped it off and went to the auto parts store, picked up some, like, I don't know,
Yeah, it was
whatever they
the
had at the
VHT
can, the
wrinkle
VHT wrinkle
black.
there,
Yeah.
and it looks fantastic. So
came out good. For
then
sure.
let's, so we got the kind of the motor.
Yeah.
Checked out.
Transmission, I have an RXT clutch with the steel flywheel McLeod, Ford Racing throwout bearing, MGW shifter, Tremec 26 spline input shaft. It's got a new aluminum drive shaft that came with the car, factory. And then in the rear end, I have a full tilt boogie kit that I have to install. And did brakes, I did the ATS Brembos, braided lines, front and rear, and Cobra Engineering head cooling mod, Cobra Engineering crossover delete, Cobra Engineering IAC relocation, and that's pretty much it.
And guys, if you guys remember in a couple of videos, this is the one that was in the garage.
Yeah.
And I was waiting to do this video, which was really, it was so tempting to just, hey, let's just do the video in the car. But I wanted the car to be where he was happy with it. You guys remember it was on the stock wheels. Prior to that, it was on some CCWs, which I in my opinion, looked fantastic. He ended up selling them and threw me for a loop, which I was like, man, they look great on the car. But you pulled off another one, dude. These wheels are the BC forged, not on many of these cars, and I like that. It's kind of like my wheel where you don't see them around a lot.
They're definitely getting more popular.
Yeah.
I had CCW Twisted Classics on here, polished with the gunmetal finish. It looked good. The classics are a pain to keep clean.
Yeah.
Not to mention the polishing, but also just all the mesh face of the wheel is just very difficult to keep clean.
Yeah.
And I feel like these cars kind of need a 5-spoke. I'm a big fan of the 5-spoke design, so I wanted something close to stock, but also more aggressive.
Yep.
So these are the TD03s by BC Forged. They're 18 by 9.5 in front and 11 in the rear. They're brushed clear finish. So the entire wheel, CCW, the barrels aren't finished unless you spend that money to upgrade, which is a big upcharge. So the barrels on CCWs are raw. So the entire wheel is coated. So you can literally just take a mitt and just wipe down the inside of the barrel, and it's easy to clean.
And you can tell, you guys, I wish it was a little bit lighter out. We tried getting this done today, and you're going to see why in the next day or two why we're doing this video kind of a little late. And again, Ryan came and helped me out with that today, so guys, look forward to that video.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and it was a shocker for me, and I think everybody around me, we were all surprised, and I'm kind of just through the moon. But the wheels on here, they just, you know, I was looking at them. Mine on the inner bowls, I paid to have them polished.
Yeah.
I wish because mine are the brushed face, I wish I did the brushed
Right.
Inner bowl, because guys, that looks,
And it's easy to keep.
it looks great. Mine, I got to take them off, polish them,
Right.
and I really wish I did that brushed inner bowl now, and because it looks fantastic. But the wheel, the fitment, the stance, I mean, Ryan's
It's on
Cobra is,
Ibach Pro
Yep.
Kit springs with no isolators in the front,
Yep.
and I think one in the rear. The rear fenders are rolled
Yep.
a little bit. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty much stock suspension wise. Gonna do a tubular K member. I'm gonna stay with the coil springs and the stock A arms. I like the way that rides.
yeah.
I don't want to spend the money right now for some BC coilovers.
But
Maybe down the road.
again, that money, I think, is getting, you know, kind of rerouted to to me, a better purpose, because this thing looks good. I've been in it. It rides great, and you know, you're putting that towards those cams.
And the
And
car's going to Kurgan in October
October,
to
yep.
get tuned up there. Kevin Dunn's tune is good. I'm still having some drivability issues down low.
Now,
A lot of guys say it's the 3-liter throttle body. It's just a massive throttle body, and it's difficult to remote tune.
now you did purchase the MS3.
So I had purchased an MS3 Pro, and I was going to do that. Just talked to a couple people, talked to a couple different shops, and got pretty much the same feedback from those shops. Mustang Magic up in New York is pretty set against them. Kurgan's not really tuning with those. So the more research I did once I started looking into installing it on the car, I know there was some reliability issues, and some people had some issues where it was kind of changing the tune on them and just doing some weird things, and I just didn't want to deal with that. I'd rather stay stock ECU and have the XCal 4 handheld and just go from there.
Because, you know, again, I'm on probably the same power-wise that you're at right now, very similar. And, you know, guys, these stock computers, you got to find the right guy to do it.
Yeah.
But they're very capable of, you know, doing what these cars need to do and keep the car on the road. So, you know, you ended up selling it. And again, selling it and repurposing those funds to, again, that Kurgan cam, you know, kit that they got. And again, this car in October is going to be another animal. The long tubes are going to be installed. You got the Pro chamber going on it. Hopefully those cams with the head studs, and then from there, man, he's going to enjoy this motor for a while.
Yeah.
And you can't see it. I'm just going to kind of turn this tripod a little bit here, guys, but back over here on the workbench, you can see that there's that block. And, you know, again, man, Ryan's sending this thing to the moon. You're going to see what these Cobras are capable of, and this is a great example. This car is that definition of just kind of just raw power, you know, in that platform. So
even 22 years later, there's not many cars out of the factory package stock long block that can do what these cars do.
And you've had the Coyote car.
I had the Coyote car.
Nothing against Coyotes.
No,
I think
Coyote's a great platform.
I think it's a great platform, but a lot of people say, hey, you know, I wouldn't spend the money on this because the Coyote is that. And, you know, again, I think that I would love the new S650.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to get my hands on one.
And I had a first-gen Coyote
yeah.
with an MT82. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't 15 and up. It wasn't the new A10.
Nice.
What that was. It's not, you know, I had a lot of problems with that car. Nothing against the Coyote. It's definitely a good platform.
Fantastic cars.
And it
they
benefits from, variable valve timing and all that. A lot of technology that these don't have.
Right.
But variable cam timing. But so yeah, before I got this, I was looking at Hellcats a little bit, and then I said, you know what? Why? Everybody's got a Hellcat. They're everywhere.
You don't see many of these on the road.
I need to go back to what
Yeah.
I originally wanted, and that's what took me back here.
So anyways, man, I want to say I'm a huge fan of the car. again, I had it at my house for a couple of months, and the reason why I was at my house is you guys are looking at it. He bought this house that we're shooting it in right now. I said to him, I was like, you know what, we were gonna do the video at my house as well, and the other thing we're waiting for is to get it here, man. The car, again, was in my garage because he was redoing this one. He had the floors done. He did the walls. He's got some stuff coming in, you know, still here, but he got it to a point to where he's comfortable getting the car here, and it's kind of at its resting spot right now, dude. And you know, it's I don't know the guy that you got it from. If he does see this video, man, you picked a great dude to sell this car to,
And he's a good guy. He's got a Coyote now with a whipple on it, so he's happy too.
So,
yeah.
But Ryan, thank you for you know, giving us some time here. We're at 25 minutes.
Yeah,
so
I appreciate it,
guys. You guys can go ahead, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the video. Some other stuff you'd like to see, and if you're in that, you know, the Bay Area, Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, you know, Hernando, you know, message me, hit me up. You guys want to get on the channel, maybe do like an interview, and you know, send me some, you know, send me some pictures and info of your car, and we'll go from there. But guys, I do appreciate the subscribers. I'm almost at 1,000, which is crazy because I started this channel just a handful of months ago. So
awesome.
I appreciate it. And guys like Ryan make this possible. So Ryan, thank you again.
Thanks for coming out.
We got another one coming up on the video. It's going to be Joe, who's mentioned in this video. And he's got an interesting garage as well. You're going to see some
that would be an understatement.
You're going to see some Lightnings. One of them may or may not have an LS swap in it. Ugh. And he's got the Terminator Zinc, correct?
Yep.
Zinc fully built motor. He's got some cool stuff at the garage, and his house is going through some great changes too. So look forward to that video. But guys, thanks SVT Garage. As always, I appreciate you, and we'll get you on the next one.